Hey guys, welcome to the party. My name is AJ.
Hello guys, this is Flex. Welcome back to another video, guys. Thank you for stopping in too.
So Mickey Mouse is suing the governor of Florida today.
Who is?
Disney. Disney is suing Ron
Who did you say?
DeSantis. Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. I like that. So do
Yeah.
you think Mickey Mouse gonna win?
Mickey Mouse has a good case for him. Uh Legally speaking.
So so do you think Goofy is gonna be a witness?
Goofy. Well, I think my stance on it is that Disney did start everything from Florida, like Disneyworld, and they bought a lot of land from Florida. So Disney, the amount of freedom it has accessible to them, or were given access to,
Mhm.
uh, really speaks in volume. But is it fair and equal for all businesses? Like if a big business was to buy land, and have like its own jurisdiction to that land, that is very telling. You know what I'm saying? That like
Mhm.
that is very amazing to have, obviously, but not everyone has those rights and jurisdictions to their own private property. So with that giving, I think Disney should start paying its fair share. I mean, even though it has attracted all these clients and you know customers to Florida, a lot of tourism to Florida, but I think Ron and a lot of the people that actually live in Florida, they don't really care for Mickey Mouse to stay.
Well, the problem with that is uh Disney is a business and they run that as they're not trying to be a community service type of company. They're there to make money. And I think anybody who has the chance, and this comes where, you know how we all say money talks?
Yeah.
Well, money talks here. So Disney has a lot of power, but it's not their fault. It's the government at that state who's gave Disney the power that they have now. They make deals back in the days in the 19 like late 1960s, and they stay still honoring those contracts. Ron DeSantis need to be careful. Disney is the number one employer in that state,
Yeah.
in Florida.
Correct. Yeah.
So let's say Disney decides to leave and go somewhere else because they do have the option, they do have the money to do it. Florida will be in big trouble. People will lose. I mean, people who go to that state, to Disney, yearly is in the millions. The state will lose that money. Hotels, restaurants, transportation, a lot of people live off that business. So he needs to start playing. Ron DeSantis needs to start playing, and he's also acting like he has power over this business. The state actually need Disney. I don't agree on a lot of stuff Disney does, but if we're talking about uh, the business point of view or the business how is how it is, Disney is bringing a lot of money to that state, and they need it. He needs to stop thinking that he doesn't need Disney because he just I saw a video where he's talking about maybe building a prison around or next to Disney.
Yeah, that's
That's just flat out disrespectful. Playing with somebody's
I think the pride gets to the
money
governor at that
pocket.
time.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. I think it's the pride of the governor. I think, he
No,
uh
he said it recently.
Yeah, I know. And I think
Mhm.
that that's the pride of the governor that's getting to his head.
Oh, okay, yeah. But either way, he needs to. I think he's taking it too personal. It looks like he's just that is a personal matter between him
It
and
does look like it's
Disney.
a personal vindicta against Disney.
You can't do that. That's being selfish. By him doing that and going that route, it looks like he's just too selfish. He doesn't care about the people at that state.
Maybe
He
he's
doesn't care.
giving an example, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate right here. Maybe he's giving the same response to Disney as Disney's giving the response to the government, because the like what business is business, right, Lex?
Right,
Disney
right,
has its business, and whatever Disney does shouldn't affect everyday average workers, or it shouldn't affect other people that is not included in their business, correct?
right.
Now, when they're supposedly passed a bill where everyone that calls it the "Don't Say Gay" bill was passed, right? Uh, it basically gave people not to say their sexual orientation and gender identity in schools and all that stuff, right? So basically, when Disney came out against the bill that was very popular in the Florida state Congress, and it got passed, Disney came out against it, basically, saying, hey, we're going to do everything in our power to fight against this bill that was passed through the government, a Florida government. Now, Disney has no business going into, what's happening in the government right
It
there.
doesn't have a
It
it
has
doesn't have
it
a
has an
business.
opinion, but it doesn't you can't say we're going to do everything in our power against the government, when the people of the government have chosen these leaders to decide that this bill was going to get passed. When you're saying, as a business company, that we have power to make decisions and stuff like that, and Disney has that kind of power, they have that kind of political influence, they have that kind of money to influence and commercialize and bring it about to make these things happen. And that basically tells that's basically what Ron DeSantis is saying, that I don't care if you're Disney, I don't care what you've done in the state of Florida and all that stuff, but you don't have the power and authority to change the government and what we decide. This is a completely different battlefield. This is a completely different area, and they have no business coming in. They should be happy that the state of Florida has given them that kind of power and authority for so long. But to come in and try to act like they run things in the state of Florida, that is completely wrong. So I get it from his personal standpoint. Now,
It,
building prisons around Disney World, I don't agree with that. I think that, yeah, went too far if he said that recently. But
right.
other than that, Disney has no reason to butt in with what the government does, and the government doesn't have any business to butt in a business. Vice versa, it's never healthy for the state or the consumers.
Well, the problem with this is that I think Disney is not the first time they do something like this. They have to they understand the power they have, as you said, for them to go and do that. I don't agree on because apparently Disney is like their own mini country inside Florida. It's like a native Indian tribe. You know how they have their own nation inside that their tribe, Native Americans. So that's how Disney is also. It
Mm.
looks like they not only this business, but I'm sure Apple's done it, Microsoft has done it, Walmart has done it. Big companies, they do have power over politicians. They basically run this country. And this is not the first time Disney has done something like that. They know the power they have and they are going to use it. They're going to test the water and see if they can get away with things. Ron DeSantis is wrong for saying that he's going to build a prison. He needs to be smart. I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt to Ron DeSantis because he's a governor. He's not the only one thinking. He has a team. He needs to listen to his team. Legally, he needs to understand what he's saying. So he's not a rookie. He's not a young kid. He's a grown man with a lot of political experience. Therefore, I can say he made a mistake saying it just because he should know better. Like I can't give a pass to the governor of Texas when he said something. This guy been there for so long, he need to know better. Same with Ron DeSantis. Same with the bunch of governors, congressmen, women, senators, you name it. They need to be responsible. They need to stop being selfish and think about their own party, their own pocket. They need to start thinking about the people. In this case, the people who could lose their job if Disney decides to move.
So I have the little CNBC article of Disney and DeSantis. So this is like the DeSantis communication director, Taryn Fensky. So right here it says we are unaware of any legal right that a company has to operate its own government or maintain special privileges not held by other businesses in the state. So basically, this is literally saying that Disney has its own special government set up in that state. And not there's not any other business that you can probably name in the state of Florida that has that same type of right that, you know, Disney has. So
Well, they're not
basically,
big enough.
correct. So just because you're not big enough doesn't get, even if you're big enough, doesn't give you the right to, like, step in to a legislative government or a state government. Like it's basic right now. What they're suing for is basically the company was going to invest $17 billion in Walt Disney World within the next decade. That would give 13,000 new jobs and 75,000 current cast members. Oh, sorry, 75,000 current cast members that it already has. So basically, it struck. It was gonna do a development deal that Disney struck, but they're canceling it with the board of advisors that was handpicked by DeSantis. So that's where, like,
Well,
it becomes unlawful and unenforceable, according to.
if I'm not mistaken, I think Disney pays, I think it's around $1 billion. The government collect about $1 billion a year from Disney. If they go, they leave, where's that money gonna come from? Then you could, the key thing here is that both of them need to compromise. That's what they need to do. They need to compromise. DeSantis needs to compromise. Disney needs to compromise. Disney
Yeah,
has to
if you
listen.
were if you were DeSantis, and I understand that you took Disney said some stuff that probably made you feel like, hold on, I'm the boss here or something like that. If I was to own a company, or if I was a leader of a state or something like that, and there's a big company, I would look to sit down and be like, hey, majority of the people vote for the bill that you are saying and claiming you're against. We understand you have an audience that attracts woke, or whatever they want to say, people, LGBT. we don't mind them coming in and they want to be, in Disney and, do whatever they want in your parks. If they want to learn about it in
property,
your parks, that's your decision. But when it comes to schools, that is our decisions.
of course. And why
So
do you think Disney has the audacity to go and challenge the government?
because like after you get more freedom, so that's what this whole argument comes to. DeSantis is saying that we gave you so much freedom and so much authority to like make your own you know business grow with the freedom that a lot of businesses don't have. So you're
So,
growing off of that. Of course, we're benefiting too with the taxes and stuff. But yet again, that doesn't mean you intervene with our day-to-day
so
business.
the bill
Like,
passed, right?
yeah, the bill passed.
It did.
Most of
It's signed.
Florida agrees with that
Is it
bill.
signed?
It's signed and everything was good to go.
Why,
So that
why would
bill,
they turn back just because Disney says
because they're
has no point?
The Disney's fan base and audiences are completely against that bill because they like what I'm saying. Disney is a company that's pushing towards the more LGBT and the woke agenda, which is completely fine. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. Do it in your park. I mean, you had your own little government set
Yeah,
up,
they have their own
you know.
freedom to do it.
Yeah, they had the freedom to
They
do
have
it.
the
Do
freedom.
it in the parks if you want to teach whatever kid that comes inside Disney all of these things that you want to teach them. Go ahead.
Make it optional.
Exactly. And then maybe it might turn out what happened to Bud Light, or it might turn out better for Disney because Disney probably has a better way of more, branding it. I don't know. I mean, me personally, if Disney was to teach that in their parks, I probably, even if I wanted to go to Disney, I'd probably be avoiding, teaching my kids any of that sexual orientation, gender identity thing because me as a parent, I wouldn't be comfortable with my kids learning it at that age. There's a certain
It,
time and everything. That's what
it
I believe. Now, if there's a parent that wants to teach their kids sexual orientation and gender identity at any age, go for it. It's your kid. You have the right to, raise them however you want. I mean,
so
but I
you
don't want
so
no
you
government telling me how I should raise my kid, and I don't want no business telling me how I should raise my kid. Any
so
inf
you
they will always get the outside influence, but they should get the judgment from their parent.
right. But you're saying that the majority of people voted for the vote. I mean for the law, right?
Yeah,
For the bill.
yeah.
So yeah, it could be what you're saying. It could be like Bud Light. Bud Light is losing money. And it was by choice. Company decided to do something that people didn't like. Maybe that happens to Disney. Disney maybe is gonna decide to do something that majority of the people doesn't want. What's the reaction of people? People is not gonna consume the product, meaning they're not gonna go to Disney. So they're gonna be forced to change their ways to be more flexible. I'm not saying to block any group, but they're gonna be more flexible
I mean that
to
their
most of them.
case is that they're open to however somebody feels they should be heard, and everyone's personal feelings should be important. I understand that, completely understand that, but there are rules and regulations for if one day I wanted to feel uh like a lion or something, I'm not gonna go bite somebody just to make that right. But you got to respect my feelings because I feel like a
But
lion.
you had the
So
freedom
that's what
though.
I'm gonna do. Yeah,
Just
but
don't bite the wrong person because you're gonna get punched.
there's no such thing as full freedom. You can't get that, especially if you live in a world with at least 8 billion people. It doesn't work that way. There has to be an amount of rules and there has to be regulations and there's things that people should follow to live in a just and good world. But unfortunately, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of greed, there's a lot of uh anarchy too
Yeah.
that causes people to make different decisions. Everyone feels a certain way at a certain time period. Maybe I might not feel the same way 10 years from now. People change. So,
The thing with Ron DeSantis is that he's not marketing himself right if he wants to run for president.
I
He
mean,
needs to
but
be,
if like the thing is, you have to understand his philosophy. You have to understand him at a personal level. So that's why I think however he's been marketing himself, you can't deny that it's been working for him. He had the most votes than any governor in the past, whatever Florida's history is. He had the most votes. He won by a landslide after winning by a close margin before that.
yeah, but I
He's
think he's,
made Florida a state where people are coming in. He's created a lot of jobs. A lot of policemen from like New York, Boston, all these places are coming to Florida to work because they're getting treated much better. You go look at the police force in New York. I was reading an article or I was listening to another podcast. There used to be in New York 100,000 at least on average applications to be a policeman in New York per year. The past 4 years, they've slid to 15,000. That's more than a 70%, 80% drop in job applications to be a policeman in New York City. New York
yeah,
City.
but they don't have the best record though.
And that's why.
Remember,
That's why a lot of people are moving to Florida.
no, but I'm talking about Florida. They don't have the best record. Remember the guy, the chief of police, the HPD officer that was here, it was in Houston.
He moved to Florida, right?
He moved to Florida. He saw things that he didn't care for, and he tried to talk about it. He got fired. So basically, there is a group who control the local government. And I think he was in Miami, wasn't it? Orlando. I think it was in Miami. He
I'm not
was.
sure, but
Yeah,
if
he was
that's
in
the
Miami, I
case,
believe.
yeah.
But he said something that because the community Cuban community is big in Miami. So he said something to the where he said something about Cubans that control the city. And that was enough. He got fired.
I mean, I'm sure there's
It,
like something in Miami, but Miami is a mostly Democratic city again. Once again, it's a
no, it's
Democratic city.
not. There's a lot of Cubans, and Cubans
Are
are
mostly
in
Republican.
favor of the Republicans.
Yeah,
A
correct.
100%.
But majority of the city in Miami is Democratic. They have a Democratic mayor, even though most of the he even though Ron DeSantis won the vote for Republicans in Miami, which was a really big deal, but mostly that city is run by Democrats. And with that being said, that's why I would say that those things are happening because I mean, look, it's a pattern, and you have to look at charts and patterns. When you see something that isn't working out, San Francisco, then it was Chicago, then it was Atlanta, it'll be Houston soon, New York City. All these are Democratic cities that are being destroyed because they don't care for law and order. They care about these personal feelings and these and that. And there's looting. And that's why, businesses like Walmart are closing their doors soon. And I'm not saying like if you follow the pattern, you want to let woke and people and all those people come into Florida, and that's what DeSantis is against. And that's why he's saying it like, I don't care, because these people need to know that we don't want them. We don't want them here. We don't want their garbage. We don't want their filth, because that we don't want Florida to end up like California. He's literally saying that, Because if you see at the point, if you start bringing these people in and in and in, it slowly is going to deteriorate. It won't happen like right away, but you'll see after X amount of years. That's when you'll see what happens. And that's what happened in San Francisco. That's what happened in Chicago. That's what happened in New York City. That's what happened in Atlanta. You'll see these people, like, I don't know how many videos you can show that people are like looting Walmart, looting CVS, looting Walgreens, and getting away with it. No cop is coming there because the cops know if we go there, they're gonna like probably attack us and stuff like that. And I don't get paid enough for it. You're literally letting cops that are supposed to be a very, very important structure for a society, a big pillar for our foundation to have law and order. Do you think you would, if I was in San Francisco, I don't think I'm gonna be let them loot. They don't care about me.
Oh,
They
you
talk
as
shit
a
about
cop?
me. Yeah, if I was a cop, I'm
Well,
telling you, that's how they feel. That's why
well,
they're leaving New York, going to places like Florida, coming to places like Texas,
but
Phoenix.
do you think people who move from, let's say, people from LA that moves to Texas, that moves to Utah or whatever state, do you think those are the worst of the worst, or those are the people who are the producers? Those are the people who really want to stay away from that, and that's why they're leaving. California is losing the right people and keeping the wrong people. Florida shouldn't pick and choose who can come to their state, because if somebody from Texas goes to Florida, most likely people that migrate to another state is the right people. Is the people who wants to give better, make better, do better for life for themselves.
I won't know till X amount of years, to be honest, if we got the right people or if we got the wrong people.
I'm telling you, I know a bunch of people who came from California, a bunch of people who came from Cali, and they have properties. They bought more than one house. They came here to open a business. I have family members who came here, sold their property in Cali, bought two houses here, opened businesses, because that money was, they got good chunk of money when they sold their property. So they came here and invest. So that's what I mean. California is keeping the wrong people and let it go the right people. The people who support the state are leaving. The producers are leaving the state, and they're only keeping the lazy people who doesn't want to work. And that's dangerous for every city, every state. That is not a good thing.
I mean, like I would have to I'll go off of graphs and patterns because I'm like a data person. I'm hoping that we got the good people in Texas and Florida and places like that because you want to be in an area where there's good people. You don't want to be in an area where they're not educated. A lot of people are leaving education and common sense for emotional nonsense. And you can't run a society based off of nonsense. So,
Right. And that's, go ahead.
with that being said, I mean, I would have to see the data. I hope you're right, Lex, that the people that are coming here are not just
It,
coming here because they want to sell the property and they see, like, hey, cheaper houses here, bigger houses here. We're gonna come, and then later on they bring their socialist ideas here.
the people I know that move here from Cali, they're producers, big time producers. They have businesses. These guys are here to make money and have a better life. They might, if California gets better, they might go back to Cali because they still talk about California. They left because of the government, as you said. They left because it's too expensive, too pricey. So they had to move. Some people are going to Arizona, Texas, Utah, even Nevada. But it probably is what you said. It's going to take time to know. It's going to take time. But I think that's it for today. Anything else you want to mention?
No, I think you said everything.
Well, we will see you guys on the next video.
Tell us what you think.
And
Do you think DeSantis is right for going after Disney as the way he is, or is he wrong? And I think Disney deserves a chance to expand their business without the interference of government.
yes, we would like to know, guys. It's kind of sensitive topic, just because there's opinions and emotions involved. But thank you for your time. Come back and see us on the next one. Subscribe, please, and give us the like button. Take care of yourself, guys. We'll see you in the next one.